We are here with the VP of PR for the World Wildlife Fund, Jane Doe. Jane will talk with us about the WWF and how the lives of our animals are as important as ever.
That is correct. Thanks for the introduction. Very happy to be here to talk about the WWF and what we are doing to help save the animals and make sure we are doing what we can to protect the wildlife.
So, for those who aren't familiar with the World Wildlife Fund, can you describe it for us?
The WWF is the world's largest network of international conservation organizations, which works across 100 countries and enjoys the support of 5 million members worldwide. I think most people would recognize us by our logo, which is the panda. We were founded 50 years ago to draw the world's attention to creatures and places to create a movement and support to save them. And of course, what we learned along the way is you can't save an animal without saving where it lives. You can't save its home without engaging the communities around it. At the end of the day, it all comes down to climate change, and we need to do whatever we can to help steer the ship the right way.
Tell us a little bit about your love of animals and why you decided to work here.
Well, first off, I was raised on a farm, so I was surrounded by animals my entire life. I learned to milk cows, herd cattle, raise chicken, etc. I would get very sad when any of my animals would get sick or die, and wanted to make sure I did whatever I could to help them enjoy their lives the best I could. From there, I decided to continue my animal studies in school. I double majored in PR and in agricultural studies. While I do not live on a farm anymore, I have 2 dogs and a cat, so it seems like I still live there. I guess I didn't answer your second question, but since I love animals and care for them deeply, I wanted to continue in a field where I can be hands-on and spread the word. I think I've done a good job so far.
What a great story. Seems like you found the perfect career path. Can you describe the mission of the World Wildlife Fund?
Our mission, plain and simple, is to protect the wildlife. We started in Africa looking to save elephants from extinction. We realized that unless you have a big enough space for elephants to roam around, they won't survive. We worked on creating parks throughout Africa. However, you need to have boots on the ground if you want this to continue to work. If there is no one to help protect, then the mission fails. We have this type of mindset all over the world. There is no animal too big or too small to help save.
That makes a lot of sense. What can the rest of us do to help?
Well, unless you are willing to move to a country to help, donations might be the best foot forward.
I will make sure that we get the website and a phone number posted at the end of our conversation so people can go ahead and chip in what they can. Are there specific causes to contribute to?
I would say that any animal that is facing extinction is one that is urgent. Of course, we want to take care of all animals, but as you can imagine, some circumstances are more time-sensitive than others. One that comes to mind is the white rhino. We are always looking for volunteers in Africa, as that is where our mission began.
I understand. What about here in North America?
One recent issue we have seen, especially with the hurricanes, is the loss of dogs and cats. We have seen an increase in stray dogs and cats and would love to find them homes.
How do you find these animals?
Well, we usually visit sites of natural disasters to make sure there are no issues for any wildlife nearby. Once we do a site visit, we can tell if there are needs and then address them.
It seems like there is a real sense of urgency behind the World Wildlife Fund missions. Can you share any stats or interesting information we should know about?
We produce reports that estimate the difference between what we demand in terms of food, energy, water, and all the rest, compared to what the planet can sustain. 2 years ago, we were at 1.3 times what the planet can sustain over the long term. This year, we're at 1.5. It would be the equivalent of a farmer not just eating the plants that he grows, but eating the seeds that he wants to plant for the following year.
I'm sure that can paint a picture. Well, what can the world do to help?
We have to make the right smart choices on how we build our communities. how we source the food that we eat, and I have a lot of confidence that it's not too late. But we need businesses to send the right signals, and we need governments to create the right regulatory frameworks. What I will say is that before you do anything else that relates to the environment, just think about your kids and your kids' kids. What kind of world do you want them to live in? Hopefully, that goes a long way.
I think that is a great way to think and a great way to end our conversation. Thank you for sitting down with us and talking about the WWF and how we can contribute to the success of your missions.